Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lords of the Night. With me, as always, your Lord of Punishment. Say hi, Scribe.
Hi, Scribe.
And your Lord of Pennies. Say hello, Satsu.
Hello, Satsu.
And I am your Lord of Pain, the Ranting Monkey, and we're here to entertain you for the next 2 hours, or do our best to do so.
Wow, that sounded very positive. Thank you.
How you guys tonight? How you doing, Satsu?
I am tired, dude.
And
that's exciting. Thanks for that brief update, Satsu.
Well, I didn't get to elaborate.
Oh, go ahead and elaborate. Why are you so tired?
Monkeys are interrupting people. What?
Well, he took a big pause.
You and your big paws. You know what? That sounds like some kind of lion joke. Never mind.
Well, I went to Squishy appointment today so she can get some blood work done, and then we went to the grocery store. And then I cooked when I came home, so I've been running around all day, and I'm exhausted.
Gotcha. And Scribbles, how you doing?
It was another hectic day at work, which followed me home until just about maybe an hour ago. So I hadn't really not had a work day until just about now. So that's how my day's been. But hey, it beats having to I don't know, beg on the street, I suppose.
Indeed.
How about you, Monkey? How are you?
I'm sick, but I'll be fine. I was going to go to the doctor today, but we had a snowstorm instead.
Yay!
It was nice, yeah.
Make snowman?
No, I stayed in bed all day and slept.
That's no fun.
It was for me. I enjoyed it.
All right.
And then I woke up to see the internet was exactly the way I left it. And
a series of tubes?
Basically, yeah.
Yay!
Just read a story about how the Covington boys have just been transformed into heroes by people who are making shit up because the original narrative should have been right. It's like, oh my God, you're a moron.
Especially our elected representatives.
It's been 4 fucking days.
Yeah.
We've known the truth for at least 3 of those.
Did you see the Native American guy's military records were released?
Yes.
Yeah.
And still,
I saw somebody write down or post what they were, but I dent see them myself.
He was never deployed into combat. Never saw Vietnam. He was a refrigerator mechanic.
He went AWOL 3 times.
AWOL 3 times. When he finally left the military, he was simply discharged, not even honorably discharged. He was just kind of let go, kind of thing. So, yeah, he didn't do any of the things that he said he did, or was any of the places that he says he was.
Hey, look, I still thank him for his service. That all kinds of mechanical stuff needs done in the military, and thank you for doing that when you actually were AWOL going motherfucker. But he's stolen a little bit of valor, and he owes people an apology for that, you shitbag.
But he's still being held as a hero once again, even though they're saying that the narrative is we've turned these kids into heroes somehow by simply saying that what you said happened didn't happen. And somehow that's us saying these kids were true heroes. Like, no, that's you holding this man up, a fucking Vietnam veteran. Like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Uncle Sam's birthday is today. I thought that was July 4th.
Uncle Sam?
Uncle Sam in chat says it's my birthday. Well, Uncle Sam, I'm not going to ask you your height because I'm going with the uncle thing there, but I will say happy birthday, and this one's for you, and a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
I hate everyone.
Happy birthday to you.
Except you, because it's your birthday.
Happy birthday, dear Uncle Sam.
And everybody else will get mad at me saying I hate him.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Oh my gosh. I hope you had a good day. I really do. Do you have anything else to chat about before we jump into what I'm sure is an exciting night of news?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Satsu, are you up to play tonight?
Yeah, I'm good. I need to wake up.
Okay.
Lords of the Night usually gets me back in gear, but I've been idling all day. Well, after I got home, I just kind of been laying around because I'm too tired to do anything. So this should get me back together.
That means tonight, guys, we'll be over on 2 Cents Plus playing 7 Days to Die on the open server. Open server, yay! If you have the game on PC, you can come join us if you'd like. The information is in our Discord. Mine is linked below. You can find Satsu somewhere. Scribbles, what do you got for the news tonight? Oh, wait, sorry. Monkey Dick, Jim Jones, movies, video games. Hit that like button and share, guys. Share our stuff far and wide.
You almost missed it.
But I got it. Haha.
It's true. I was just about to say so, or not say, just have a long silent pause.
Right.
See if something would happen. Well, before we get into the horrific news of the day, how about a little Schadenfreude to start off our night?
Sure, why not?
BuzzFeed to cut 15% of staff in new round of layoffs.
Oh.
Hooray.
Yeah. BuzzFeed is preparing to lay off about 15% of its employees. The coming contraction is the latest example of a media company making cutbacks in a difficult operating environment. Or maybe because they suck.
How hard can it be to make BuzzFeed?
Yeah, you just sort of like take a dartboard with a whole bunch of random words on it and throw 3 darts and make a story. The reductions will affect multiple departments, including the news division. Is that really a department? According to sources familiar with the matter. BuzzFeed has about 1,450 employees, so about 220 will be leaving, one of the sources confirmed. BuzzFeed CEO Jonah Peretti confirmed the sharp cut on Wednesday after reporters from other news outlets began inquiring.
I hear y'all going broke.
The layoffs, he said in an internal memo, are part of a broader effort to, quote, put us on a firm foundation and allow us to invest and grow sustainably for years to come. That's corporate speak for we done fucked.
Imagine how many layoffs they're going to have to do if they get sued for some of their bad reporting they've done, like Gawker was.
Let's see. But now on to the not fun news at all. That was dominating the headlines for a while today. At least 5 people are killed at SunTrust Bank in Sebring, Florida. A gunman who barricaded himself in a SunTrust Bank in Florida killed at least 5 people in the branch on Wednesday, Sebring Police Chief Carl Hoagland said. The suspect called authorities to say he had entered the bank in Sebring, about 85 miles south of Orlando, and began shooting, according to Hoagland. Authorities identified the suspect as 21-year-old Sebring resident Zephan Zaver? Okay, Zephen. Zephan, I'm assuming. And then last name Xaver. So maybe it's Haver, if you're doing like the whole X sounds like an H kind of thing. I don't know. Anyway, and he is in custody, not dead, surprisingly enough. Quote, we've suffered significant loss at the hands of a senseless criminal doing a senseless crime, Hoagland said. It wasn't immediately clear if those shot were bank employees or customers. The victims have not yet been identified, and family notifications have not yet been made, according to authorities. The incident began with the phone call to authorities from the suspect around 12:36 p.m. He said he had fired shots inside the bank. Sebring Police and Highlands County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to the scene. Initial negotiations to try to get the barricaded suspect to leave the bank were not successful, so a SWAT team entered the bank and continued negotiations. With the SWAT team in the bank, that's aggressive negotiations. The suspect eventually surrendered to the SWAT team at the bank along US 27 between Lake Jackson and Little Lake Jackson. So, yeah, there you go. Apparently he worked as a correctional officer trainee for 2 months before he failed out of that, so...
Nice. Real quick, thank you, your boy Pat. I think I'm supposed to sing this. 7 days to die. 7 days to die. 7 days to die, 7 days to die.
To the tune of what?
I don't know. It was just me singing it. Well, I got it beat to the tune of something.
Well, I mean, it's a zombie game. It does you try to sing it like Bing Crosby or something.
Why are you so critical of my singing?
Why don't you sing it like like Rammstein or something? 7 days to die, 7 days to die. Something like that.
Why don't you sing it that way? I sang it.
I just did.
To.
Anyway, sing the next one.
Cryptic, thank you. Did you hear about Bob and how he overdosed on Viagra? I hear his wife took it pretty hard. Yeah, I like that joke. Thank you both, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Cryptic and Pat.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Well, you almost said your boy Hat when you first started saying it. So that was kind of funny too.
Right.
Well, how about a news article from our favorite friend at CNN, Socialism.
Tomorrow's going to be big because my father and I are going to see Bob Seger in Milwaukee. Oh, that's cool, Connor. And thank you for the donation. I like Seger. Seger's great.
Boy, you can't word today, huh, Monkey?
What I did wrong?
Your donation almost turned into donut or some shit.
Hey, I'm doing my best. Oh, that reminds me. I need to take pills.
Donuts remind you of your medication.
It might have slurring of his own speech that reminded me.
Yes, thank you. It was the side effects of my being.
Well, let's see. What does Chris Cillizza have to tell us today? Donald Trump dared Nancy Pelosi to cancel his State of the Union speech, so she did.
Oh.
Except she can't.
Oh, my God, he set her up.
Oh, yeah, he did. And we all know how this is going to end. President Donald Trump will not be giving his State of the Union speech on the House floor next Tuesday. That's the important part. That is the important part. That much now seems definite following an exchange of hugely passive-aggressive letters between Trump and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on Wednesday, a battle of words that ended with Pelosi informing Trump that she would not be introducing a, quote, concurrent resolution, unquote, allowing him to address a bicameral session of Congress on January 29th. What it means is that we are now through the looking glass. On the 33rd day of the longest government shutdown in American history, the Speaker of the House, you should really capitalize the speaker part of that because it's a title, not a word. The Speaker of the House has disinvited the President of the United States from delivering his annual update to Congress, a tradition that has been around since George Washington delivered the first State of the Union address at Federal Hall in New York City on January 8th, 1790. There are three certain conclusions as a result of Pelosi's response to Trump's letter earlier Wednesday, in which he insisted he was planning to show up to give his speech in the House next Tuesday, despite her previous letter asking him to postpone his speech or deliver it in writing a la Thomas Jefferson. 1. Trump ain't speaking on the House floor next week. Ain't, Chris? All right. 2. Relations between the Democratic House and the Republican president have hit a new low. I don't know if it's a new low. 3, none of this is even marginally normal. Has anything about Trump's presidency been normal by regular presidential standards?
Nope.
Considering how many times they've personally had to write that sentence, you would think they would learn that by now, but nope.
No, got to remind us. There are a slew of questions that follow from these certainties. Will this cancellation further set back any attempt at compromise on reopening the government?
What attempted compromise?
Yeah, what? There's been no attempt to. The only attempt at compromise has come from Trump, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, there is no opportunity for compromise at all because they won't allow there to be.
Will Trump give some sort of, kind of, sort of? What? Okay, I'm going to read that as it's written. Will Trump give some sort of, kind of, comma, sort of State of the Union speech from another location? If so, where will it be? I would do it in front of Nancy Pelosi's house.
He'll do it from the Oval Office. Why not?
He'll do it from the Oval Office. He'll do it from that. The big hallway with the long hallway that President Obama announced that they'd taken out Osama bin Laden. That kind of thing.
Do it at her desk.
Do it at her desk. Yeah, do it right outside of her office at the Capitol building.
Yeah.
Knowing Trump and watching what he and his surrogates have said over the last few days, It seems like a virtual certainty that Trump will speak somewhere and call it a State of the Union address, quote unquote. No, it is the State of the Union.
State of the Union, Chris.
It's not different or like some kind of pseudo situation just because he's not doing it on the House floor. That's a formality, as you've already pointed out. Quote, whether...
I'm sorry, he even pointed out Jefferson just mailed his in.
Chris apparently outlined 4 alternate location possibilities.
Oh.
Let's see. 1, the Senate. The upper chamber is controlled by Republicans, so theoretically his party could smooth the way for Trump to deliver the State of the Union there. 2, the border.
That would be funny.
That'd be funny. Given that the shutdown fight revolves entirely around Trump's demand for $5 billion to pay for a border wall, 5.7, Chris, Trump could highlight the necessity of a wall by speaking at the border. Number 3, a Trump/Democrat House district. There are 23 freshman House Democrats who represents districts? What? There are 23 freshman House Democrats who represents districts that Trump won in represent, Chris, not represents. Okay, and number 4, the White House. Yeah, somewhere in the White House. The border would be hilarious.
Do it at Taco Bell, America's best Mexican restaurant.
You should do it at the Covington Catholic School.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. That would be a funny one. I would just do it from the Oval Office and be like, there you go, bitch.
Yeah.
And quote, I would even start it off. I'm sending this into Congress because Nancy Pelosi is a moron. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Quote, whether he does that from the halls of Congress or whether he does that in another location, the president will talk to the American people on January 29th, as he does nearly every single day, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said in an interview on Fox and Friends on Wednesday morning. And, and because of this, it'll probably be more watched than a regular speech. Because you know what won't be a part of this speech if he doesn't do it in like the Senate? Pauses for applause.
Right.
Let's see. Seen through that lens, Trump's letter to Pelosi on Wednesday afternoon was a purely political ploy. Everything about this has been a political ploy.
Well,
designed to put the onus on the speaker to respond, and more accurately to respond that Trump couldn't speak from the House floor. Shortly after Pelosi's letter denying Trump that privilege was reported by CNN's Manu Raju, Trump was asked about it, and he said this, quote, I'm not surprised. It's really a shame what's happening with the Democrats. They become radicalized. They don't want to see crime stop, which we can very easily do on the southern border, and it's really a shame what's happening with the Democrats, unquote. Crime's not going to stop if you build a wall.
Nope.
They keep playing right into his hands. He should live stream it on Twitter. Thank you. Nope. Right before we went to air, I saw this story, and it's because Chris Cillizza tweeted it out. At 9:08, he tweeted out, when Nancy Pelosi called Donald Trump's bluff.
This bluff? He wasn't bluffing.
He wasn't. He's going to give the fucking speech whether he does it on the House floor or not.
You know what? You know what he should do? It'd be fucking hilarious if he denied access to all the press outlets and just did it on Twitch.
Yes.
If he just said, yeah, I'm going to be broadcasting live on Twitch. So CNN, ABC, all you guys, you're going to have to use Twitch if you want to get my speech.
Yeah, did you see Jim Acosta?
Smash Brothers.
One at a time.
Jim Acosta was whining on Twitter today because the press doesn't have access to the president.
You think Jim Acosta's in love with Trump?
Yes.
Secretly? Okay.
He's like an ex-girlfriend or a one-night stand that just won't go away.
Oh, okay. So from the redundancy part of redundancy, this whole thing is unprecedented and purposefully so. Pelosi and her Democratic colleagues have made the calculation that the only way you deal with a president like Trump, and unlike every president who has held the office before him, is to go beyond where you would have thought you would be willing to go. To press to the political extremes and beyond, because you are dealing with a political opponent who has repeatedly demonstrated his willingness to not just push the envelope, but to act as though he is entirely unaware of any sort God damn it, Chris. Could you use a comma somewhere in here? But to act as though he is entirely unaware any sort of envelope exists. Let me repeat myself. Chris, you're writing. It's right here. Okay. Let me repeat myself. None of this is even marginally normal. That's the way Trump likes it. Uh-huh. And the way that Democrats have accepted it must be if they want... What? Let me try that again. That's the way Trump likes it, dash, dash. And the way that Democrats have accepted it must be if they want to effectively combat him and the effects of the policies he wants to put into place. What? Okay, Chris, go work for BuzzFeed. They probably need a new reporter or something now. Anyway, moving on from that. The other big news, we might be going to war with Venezuela or something.
Yeah, that's the headline, guys. Wow. That's actually, I said I woke up and nothing had changed. That is one thing that had changed. I woke up and saw this. I'm like, wow. I don't even know how to, what to think.
Trump's declaration on Venezuela sets stage for, quote, confrontational moment, unquote. President Donald Trump's decision to recognize Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaido, I'm not saying that right, as the country's interim president sets the stage for dramatic escalation. How about for a dramatic escalation in the coming days as forces within and outside Venezuela wrestle to determine its future. Embattled President Nicolas Maduro responded to Trump's announcement by cutting ties with the U.S. and ordering American diplomats to leave within 72 hours, an order that could lead to confrontation lead to confrontation even as the White House dismissed it as meaningless. 35-year-old Guaido, he's younger than I am, swore himself into office and declared that Maduro had been deposed, though analysts say it's not clear the former bodyguard's fall is anywhere near imminent or that Trump's power play will pay off.
Whoa.
Why is there a Weibo here?
I don't know what you're talking about. This isn't Weibo. This is someone else.
Who is this guy? Who the fuck invited this dude?
Thanks for the screenshot, Weibo. Get ready for a Photoshop.
I love when you snort.
I discovered that my camera could do so many cool things. Look at this.
Thanks, Scribbles, for the migraine. Nancy
I thought I would.
Sucks a lot.
I would share this with you because
I know exactly where this is going now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've already figured it out. I just had to take one look at this and I know exactly where I'm going to put it.
What about this one?
No. I'm already working on it.
God damn it.
Yep, sorry.
Prospero says, God damn it, France and Canada recognize Guaido, as did Panama, Costa Rica, Brazil, and 6 other fucking countries.
Yeah, but President Trump is more, I don't know, annoying or something?
Well, here's the thing. Look, and I hate to be this way. What the fuck's Venezuela going to do?
It's true.
They have enough soldiers to fight?
Oh, they have no money. They couldn't fight a war with us if they even wanted to. The most they can do is kick their feet. And in this case, we're talking about that motherfucker. This is the guy who's so well loved that he was able to have that wonderful meal presented to him by the people. Oh, no, wait. The people have no food. They had to sneak that shit in when they weren't looking.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave because I do have to study for a final. So I just wanted to procrastinate a little longer. Thanks for having me on, Monkey.
You're welcome, sweetie. She came in just to do that for you, Scribe.
Oh, that's good.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, sweetie.
Yeah, prepare for peaceful retaliation.
Baxcan says they could steal our zoo animals and eat them. Oh, it'd be more food than they saw in a month.
Let's see here. 1 second. This is taking a. This has become a priority now. I have to do this very quickly, but
okay.
You go ahead, Monkey.
No, why are you doing that? I'm interested to see the political fallout from this. Trump recognizing this guy. I don't know how their politics works, but there was something about him being basically giving no confidence. So the elected body, which is what he's the head of, this new guy, named himself president. I find that weird.
Yeah, that doesn't sound legitimate, does it?
No, it really doesn't. But this is what happens with socialism, guys. Eventually, it all falls to shit.
Okay, well, since I've done this so quickly, if everybody wants to, who can, take a moment to go over to the tweeter, if you want to see the masterpiece that I came up with in about 3 seconds for Weebo Jones, or probably better said, Weedoc Jones.
Why do I always have to look up you and Satsu stuff?
Yep, same for me.
It never comes up in my timeline.
There you go. Anybody who's a comic book fan of the Marvel Comics might recognize that. Even if you don't, it's pretty funny.
Ha!
Anyway, let's see. Let's see. Wednesday's rapid-fire developments come as several countries moved in concert with the United States to welcome Guaido, who has won recognition from Canada, Brazil, Costa Rica, Argentina, Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, Chile, and the Organization of American States. I almost started doing the Animaniacs country song there for a second. Besides adversaries China and Russia, key U.S. allies such as Mexico have not moved to recognize Guaido. However, and Turkey's leader has offered Maduro his backing. European Council President Donald Tusk. Really? Okay. European Council President Donald Tusk expressed support for Guaido on Wednesday and called on all of Europe to join him, but there's been no formal European Union announcement. The Trump administration, meanwhile, is intimating that it will back its political move with muscle. Quote, all options are on the table, Trump told reporters Wednesday when asked if he might use military force to ensure the outcome he wants in Venezuela. Quote, all options always, all options are on the table, unquote. So do you think Venezuela becomes our, I don't know, Ferdinand for like the World War I kind of thing? Archduke Ferdinand kind of thing. This is like, it sets off a chain of events that turns into like World War III.
No, most of the world has pretty much forgot about Venezuela. What the hell was his name? The dude who turned him so socialist. What the fuck was his name? Chavez? Is that who it was? I can't remember. Anyway, he had a lot of ties around the world, but since his death, they just don't have the same political impact that they had. Thank you, Cryptic. Venezuela's constitution allows for the head of the assembly to declare the president illegitimate and run the government until an election. Well, that was very hard to sing, Cryptic.
Yeah, you should stop doing that.
No, I'm not gonna. Thank you for the donation, sir.
Well, how about
Hugo Chavez? Thank you. Yes.
Hugo Chavez. Hugo.
Fat fuck.
How about some political news from the other side of the planet?
Sure.
White House confirms President Trump sent a letter to Kim Jong-un. The White House confirmed Wednesday that President Donald Trump sent a letter to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Press Secretary Sarah Sanders, in a short statement to reporters, said, quote, the president responded to Chairman Kim's letter. Okay. Kim Yong-choi, North Korea's lead negotiator on nuclear talks, visited Washington last week and spoke with Trump for 90 minutes in the Oval Office. He brought with him a letter from Kim Jong-un addressed to Trump. The meeting with Trump resulted in the announcement of a second summit between Trump and the North Korean leader at the end of February. North Korean state media reported Kim was presented the letter from Trump by Kim Yong-choi. The report called it a, quote, good personal letter, unquote. Okay. Well, there you go. So we get peace in North Korea, and then we get war in Venezuela.
Well, frankly, I mean, that's probably the best turn of events. If it was the other way around, it'd be a lot more devastating. I hope it's a good personal letter, and I hope they're building some rapport, and that we can talk Kim into stop being such a douchebag to his people. Thank you, Jenna P. I'm now president of Venezuela, Sassy. You're cooking.
I'm not.
She's going to fly you in to cook.
Yeah,
I'm not cooking for that many people.
You're going to be your personal chef.
Oh.
No, you're just cooking for her.
Yeah.
You're cooking for the people.
The people of Venezuela don't get to eat. Are you insane?
People of Venezuela don't need food.
By mistake.
Thank you, Cryptic. Is he the brother to King Ding Dong?
Okay. Anyway. Prospero says, why do you think we're going to war? Seriously, how do you arrive at that notion? I was being a little facetious, knowingly so. But if, Trump says military options are not off the table, it's not impossible that there could be a military conflict. I don't know.
No, there's not. If the Russians were to back, what the fuck is his name?
Maduro.
Venezuelan guy, then yeah, we could have an issue there.
Yeah, it could be sort of a Cuban Missile Crisis kind of situation.
Yeah.
Who knows? Stranger things have happened.
Venezuela can't fuck with us, but other countries.
No. Yeah, on behalf of or by backing them and everything else. So, well, anyway, that's all the stories I had pulled up.
Cool. Thank you so much for reading that. We don't thank you for that enough, Scribe. Thank you so much for reading the news.
All right, you know what? Don't thank me like that.
I'll thank you how I like to, sir. With that, guys, that moves us on to hashtag MSS News. There's a story you'd like to take a look. If there's a story you'd like to take a look at,
yeah, well, go on the internet and just search for shit.
Send it over to hashtag MSS News. Maybe we'll look at it too. We can't get to all the stories, but that's just because I can't speak. Scribbles?
This one comes from Jim Heelis. I'm not sure if this is real. Is the Babylon Bee a real publication?
No.
Okay.
They're the Onion of...
Right. Okay. Well, then the headline of this is, I was like, that doesn't sound like a real headline. But the headline to the satire site, the Babylon Bee, reads, Snopes introduces new factually inaccurate but morally right fact check result. Which is hilarious.
Well played.
Actually, I kind of want to save this image and just tweet it out when we have more of these stories.
Or just hold on to it for when it actually happens so we can be like, yep, this was a joke.
Hold on to it for next week when Trump's speech comes up.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to archived for later. Anyway, I'll read just a little bit of it. Popular fact-checking site, Snopes.com, confirmed Wednesday they are debuting a new, quote, factually inaccurate but morally right, unquote, fact-check result for claims they don't want to debunk because they coincide with Snopes editors' worldview. The fact-checking website will now label inaccurate claims that they deem morally right, with the new label giving public figures whose hearts are in the right places a pass. Quote, we were often running into situations where a truth claim was absolutely absurd, but it supported progressive causes, said one Snopes editor. Quote, so sometimes we just called it a mixture, but then people might get the idea that our favorite politicians are being slightly dishonest sometimes, unquote. The editor then said that upon hearing Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's recent statement that many people are more concerned with being factually accurate than morally right, the Snopes fact-checking team suddenly had an idea. They could label things as being morally laudable, even though the facts upon which they were based are totally erroneous. That's a good one. I like that. Good job, B. This one comes from Massive Dynamics. Sex trainer who said she could prove Russia meddled in U.S. election freed. She had been jailed, I guess. Escort Anastasia Vashukevich, released from Moscow jail amid speculation she may have cut a deal. A Belarusian sex trainer who had claimed that she could prove a Russian oligarch's ties to the Trump campaign has been released from a Moscow jail amid speculation that she may have cut a deal for her freedom. Anastasia Vashukevich, the escort and model who also calls herself Nastya Rybka, became an unlikely figure in the sprawling Russiagate saga after she offered to trade information about collusion with Russia in the 2016 U.S. presidential elections for asylum in the United States. I think you picked the wrong leverage.
Yeah.
Before returning to Moscow last week, she had been held for nearly a year in a Thai prison for holding a sex workshop deemed illegal by the local authorities. Credibility is 0, lady, unless you've got documentary evidence that can actually be corroborated. She was deported from Thailand on Thursday after pleading guilty and was detained by Russian authorities, quote, on suspicion of enticement to prostitution when her flight arrived in Moscow. Yeah, you're not a very good witness. Hate to tell you. I don't think you're going to go far.
Probably not.
Photographs or documents or something. That is an ad. We talked about that before. Okay, this one comes from Froggy. Flight attendant says overweight passenger forced her to wipe his butt.
Oh, God, yeah.
An overweight passenger aboard a Taiwanese airliner forced flight attendants to remove his pants so he could use the toilet, then wipe his butt as he moaned in pleasure, according to reports.
Yep.
A flight attendant for Eva Air, EVA Air, which only employs female cabin crew, described the crappy duty the paunchy perv subjected her to aboard the LA to Taipei flight on Saturday. The sicko, who was confined to a wheelchair, told the flight attendants that he needed assistance to use the lavatory about 2 hours into the flight. Quote, I felt that as a flight attendant, removing a passenger's underwear was beyond the scope of my responsibilities, the flight attendant told a news conference, where she was accompanied by reps from the Taoyuan Flight Attendants Union. Quote, I told him we couldn't help him, but he started yelling. He told me to go in there immediately and threatened to relieve himself on the floor, she said. As passengers' genitals were now exposed, one of my colleagues brought a blanket, which I used to cover his modesty, she continued. But he very angrily slapped my hand away, saying he didn't want it and only wanted me to remove his underwear so he could use the toilet. But the man insisted that they keep the door open because otherwise, quote, he couldn't breathe, unquote. The women managed to keep the door closed, but the man, whose weight was estimated to be 440 pounds, then refused to leave the bathroom unless they wiped his backside after he finished with his business. The flight attendants refused at first, but then decided to carry out the disgusting task so he wouldn't remain in the lavatory. But things took a turn for the worse when the chief attendant donned 3 pairs of latex gloves and began wiping him. Quote, he said, oh, deeper, deeper, and then accused my chief attendant of not properly cleaning his backside, requesting that she do it again.
Yeah.
This guy looks
I put the screen up. I put a picture of him up on the screen for everyone.
Yeah, he looks like an evil Santa Claus or something. Like, or whatever.
That's Pervaclaus.
Does he have like stuff stuffed up his nose?
I can't tell if there's something up his nose. Yeah, it looks like.
Looks like he's like maybe he's like stopping a nosebleed or something, or there's tampons in there or something. I don't know.
Maybe one of those ladies got smart and punched him.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Oh, God. Okay, this one comes from senior staff reporter and chief Florida correspondent Colleen Bernier. Florida man caught masturbating in the pillow aisle at Walmart.
Okay.
Usually when I think of somebody masturbating to dirty pillows, it's something completely different. Police in Stuart went to Walmart off Federal Highway to arrest Dennis Palmer, who was apparently doing a little more than shopping. Video footage shows Dennis whipping it out in the pillow aisle, and then he starts to touch himself. When the cops questioned him, he told them it was a bad case of the crabs and he wasn't masturbating. According to police, there was more rubbing and tugging and not so much scratching going on in the video.
Thank you, Flair Fritz. Santa was trying to nut. Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
We had a guy got busted doing that in the toy aisle.
I gotta go, guys. Sorry, I have work stuff and I can't do this at the same time. I will be back as soon as I can.
Sure, dude. Yeah, we had a dude busted masturbating in the toy aisle. He went to jail for quite a while for that. What's up next? Who sent that one in? This one, I can't remember who that was from. This one comes from Colleen. She was dancing naked outside the Waffle House, but it didn't end there, Florida cops say. I love Florida stories. Things got a little out of control outside of Pensacola, Florida Waffle House Monday morning, according to a police report from Escambia. Sorry, I wanted to say Escanaba because that's what I always see up here in Michigan. Anyway, Escambia County Sheriff's Office, a woman later identified as Freedom Zobrist, that's her name, was causing problems in the parking lot. A Waffle House employee had called authorities after noticing the woman had dropped her pants and was blocking traffic. The employee told officers she had been loitering in the area earlier in the day, but had run off. She returned a few hours later and sat by the back door, read the report. The employees told her to leave, but she became verbally abusive and threatened to retrieve her firearm and shoot them in the face. He said the unemployed Pensacola resident also threatened to shoot everyone in the diner. The worker then said Zombrist walked in the middle of the parking lot, yanked her pants down, exposing her sexual organs, and began to dance. Well, I mean, that's better than shooting everyone, right?
It depends.
Employees said the 38-year-old then went over to him and tried to grab his genitals and lick both sides of his face. Huh. She's in jail now on a $5,000 bond. You want to see her, Satsu?
Sure.
Would you rather be shot by this or be exposed to her genitals?
Wait, where did you share it?
It's on the
it's on the
screen.
Okay. Ooh.
Look, she got a manly vibe, but I still think seeing her disgusting puss is better than getting shot.
She looks like she probably has a bad case of corned beef gina.
Yeah, she got them crabs that'll shoot you too. Exposing her sexual organs, nice way to put it. Yeah, I mean, of course, from Frosted Glass. New York passes DREAM Act, becomes fourth largest state with financial aid for undocumented immigrants. I'm so glad they got rid of all their homeless people, all their homeless Americans.
Who gives a fuck about the people that live here, Monkey?
Yeah, I know. New York became the fourth largest state to pass the DREAM Act on Wednesday. The bill, which will provide college financial aid for undocumented immigrants, was passed by both chambers of the state legislature and is expected to be signed into law by Governor Andrew Cuomo. The DREAM Act has been a priority for progressives in the state since President Barack Obama announced the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program in 2012. DACA gave temporary work authorization and deportation relief to approximately 800,000 undocumented immigrants who came to the U.S. as children. The bill came within 2 votes of passing the New York Senate in 2014, but a group of Democrat state senators that caucused with Republicans, known as the Independent Democratic Conference, stymied efforts to enact it. Under increasing scrutiny, especially after the rise of President Donald Trump, the IDC officially dissolved last year. 6 of the group's 8 former members were later unseated in the 2018 midterm elections. Undocumented immigrants in New York have been eligible for in-state tuition since 2001, but the DREAM Act will expand protections to include financial aids to students, quote, who attend high school for at least 2 years in New York and graduate or obtained an equivalency diploma here. Man, I mean, it's great that they got all this money for illegals. That's they have solved all the problems with New York. That's a big ass state. It had a lot of problems, but now they're down to making sure illegal aliens can go to college. I hate this country sometimes. Well, not this country, the people in it. What's this one? Jack sent us one about Nathan Phillips. I recommend checking it out, guys. But I don't know about you, Sats. I'm I'm a little over Nathan Phillips right now.
I am too. Like this story, for some reason, has been making me much more angry than I usually am about these stories, because it has hit the level of absurdity that I just can't comprehend. And the only emotion I have left for it is just pure fucking hatred and anger. So I'm just like, can we not?
Yeah, and so many of the things in here, we're getting so many about that, guys. I don't mean to ignore it. We've just been on it so much. Because yeah, we got one about the lawyer representing the kids. We got let's see, this is Alyssa Milano and her bullshit. What's this one? CNN's Powers deletes Twitter app after harassment claim over Covington criticism. CNN political analyst Kirsten Powers announced she was deleting her Twitter application on Wednesday after she said she was harassed on the popular platform regarding her criticism of the Covington High School students' interaction with the Native American activist. Quote, every day I get up and say no more Twitter and somehow end up back there. It's news that she's getting rid of Twitter.
Yeah. Also, the fact that her reporting and the shit that she was saying to people on Twitter about these kids in the first place and the harassment they got, fuck, whatever. That's not newsworthy. But what is crazy is the fact that she had directed tons of harassment towards these kids, and now it's coming back her way. It's like, oh man, that sucks.
It's okay to direct harassment at children. Just don't send any to those poor multimillionaires sitting behind news desks on television.
Yeah,
because you know how hard their life already is. Fucking cunts. This one comes to us from Shady Grin. China grows monstrous monkey clones with edited genes to carry diseases. To carry diseases? Let's see. Chinese scientists have created monstrous monkey clones with genes specifically edited to carry disease. For the record, this comes from the Mirror. Nope. Thank you. She's still on Twitter, though, like right now. Oh, send her my regards. Researchers at Chinese Academy of Science Institute of Neuroscience are aiming to make a diseased monkey population in order to carry out animal testing and study a range of human diseases. They initially removed the BMAL1 gene, which is used to control human circadian rhyme? I don't know. In one monkey, they then used a donor monkey cell to clone 5 new subjects using the same technique used to clone Dolly the sheep. The move has proved highly controversial, and animal welfare activists have slammed the move as barbaric. The animals have been used to study sleep-related anxiety and depression, as well as schizophrenia. Findings of the study have been published in the National Science Review. The disorder of whatever that is could lead to many human diseases, including sleep disorders, diabetic mellitus, cancer, and motherfucker. You sent this because you know I was going to have to read, didn't you? Neurodegenerative diseases. I know the word. It's just a long one I was likely to trip over. Our monkeys thus could be used to study the disease pathogens as well as therapeutic treatments. They've raised a race of super monkeys and given them horrible diseases so they can help mankind. That's some comic book shit right there.
Monkey, you're not going to fight for your people?
Somebody's going to get bit by one of these things. We're going to have Monkey Man running around, and I'm going to have to put on
later.
I'm going to have to put on a superhero suit and go stop it.
And by the time you get there,
it'll be over. You guys are screwed, man. The Chinese don't seem to be giving much of a fuck about medical ethics. What's this one? Oh, apparently climate. This one also comes from Shady Grin. Climate change will affect the ratio of male to female newborns, scientists say. Ooh.
Sorry, I was laughing at a post from Ben Shapiro.
Jenna P, thank you. Monkey, how much longer of MS News? Kids woke up. We got, especially if Scribe's not coming back, about 10 minutes. The nonprofit Water Aid asked pregnant women from around the world to share what they'll take to the hospital when they deliver their child. Some brought items that comfort them or clothes for the baby. Some had to bring their own basic medical supplies. Katie Shaw, 31, is originally from the United Kingdom and now lives in Melbourne, Australia. This will be her first baby. Global warming will have a variety of effects on our planet, yet it may also directly affect our human biology, research suggests. Specifically, climate change could alter the proportion of male and female newborns, with more boys born in places where temperatures rise and fewer born in places with other environmental changes such as drought or wildfire caused by global warming. What about wildfire that's not caused by global warming? Will that change anything? Yeah. A recent study in Japan found a link between temperature fluctuations and a lower male to female sex ratio at birth, with conception of boys especially vulnerable to the extreme stress factors, wrote Dr. Something Foreign, lead study author and founder of the M&K Health Institute in Hyogo. Last summer, somebody foreign there and his colleagues published a separate study looking at births in areas hit by environmental events that caused extreme stress. They included Hyogo Prefecture after the Kyobe earthquake of 1995, Tohoku after the Great East Japan earthquake of 2011, and Kumamoto Prefecture after the 2016 earthquake. 9 months after these disasters, the proportions of male babies born in these prefectures declined between 6 to 14% from the previous year. So it's not that that the global temperature is actually doing anything. It's stress. Stress turns you into women, guys. Confirmed. Just throwing that out there. But they will link it, man. They will do their best to link it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear fuck. This one comes to us from William Savage. Hey, welcome back, Scribbles.
Sorry about that, guys. And
oh, shit happens.
Won't be able. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, he can't hear us.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you, bud.
Okay. Well, sorry about that. And I won't be able to stick around for the whole show, unfortunately, because work just exploded, and I'm probably, well, I won't bitch about it now. Not your problem. Anyway, where were we? What are we doing?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. I was just getting ready. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
I was just getting ready to read a story from that was sent in to us by William Savage.
Uh-huh.
New Jersey teacher threatens to shoot up preschool, say cops who sees 3 guns in the home. Yeah.
That's a healthy way to deal with school.
A New Jersey preschool teacher allegedly threatened colleagues that she would shoot up the school, authorities and reports said Wednesday. Quote, "One day I'm gonna come here and shoot it up," Gina Schroeder allegedly told fellow teachers at Goddard School in Elmwood Park on Friday, prompting them to call the cops. Police briefly placed the school on lockdown and detained Schroeder, who had no weapons on her. Investigators also searched Schroeder's Nutley home. She's a nut. Where they seized 3 guns the teacher legally owned. Schroeder was charged with making terroristic threats and illegal possession of prescription drugs. In a biography since pulled from the school's website, Schroeder was listed as the lead teacher in the infant classroom.
Well, she obviously hasn't learned to deal with her emotions any better than an infant.
No shit. And guys, with that, I think we're going to wrap up the MSS news. You're going to shoot up a fucking preschool, you sick bitch. Man, Oh God! Thank you for the stories, and like I said, we just can't get to them all. It's a wonderful problem to have, and that's because you are wonderful people. But with that, we are going to move on to the YouTube time, and Scribbles, in case we lose you again soon, well, why don't you go first?
I wasn't able to work on anything today because of work stuff, which is still haunting me to this moment. So that's what I have to say.
Fair enough. Satsu?
I didn't really get to do anything today because I was out and about.
Aren't we exciting today? Monkey, you better have something to save us from.
We are 0 for 2. 0 for 2. I did a monkey in the morning, which was kind of fun, but I was also on Jack Gunsky's channel last night where we played Quiplash and a few other games, and it was a lot of fun, but my head started spinning from this goddamn ear infection. So like the last half of it, I was just kind of zoned out. But if you guys don't watch it, those guys are funny motherfuckers. You should go over there and make sure you check it out. And if you get a chance to be on there, consider doing so, because he's, like I said, it's a lot of fun over there. And with that, it is time to move on to the fucketries. Do you guys have anything?
Not really.
Looking at this post from Ben Shapiro, he said, media, Covington kids were racist. Nope, you botched it. Media, okay, but the other Covington kids were racist. Nope, you botched it. Okay, but Covington banned a gay kid from speaking. Nope, you botched it. Media, the real story is people are mean to journalists.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. There was the story about the kid who was supposedly kept from delivering his valedictorian speech to Covington High because he was gay, which isn't why he was banned from doing it. He was banned from doing it because he turned it in late and it had political themes to it that they didn't want on their stage.
There was one thing about the Today Show interview that I found really interesting. There's one point at which is her name Samantha or Savannah Guthrie?
Oh, I think isn't it Samantha?
It's Samantha. Anyway, she asks him something to the effect of, do you think maybe if you hadn't been wearing that hat, this wouldn't have happened? I thought to myself, do you think maybe if you weren't dressed that way, you wouldn't have been raped?
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, are you really asking this kid that question? Are you serious right now?
Real quick, thank you, Frosted Glass. I sing when I yank it to gay porno. There you go. Didn't she also ask him if he wanted to apologize or if he thinks he should?
Yeah, that was the key point of the whole thing. And thankfully, he said, I don't have anything to apologize for.
Well, that article I was talking about that that I was reading right before we went to air from The Guardian, I forget his name, the guy who wrote it. His whole thing is about how they're trying to change the narrative, even though we can see what happened. These kids obviously harassed him as he was just trying to calm them down from their argument with the black Israelites. I'm like, well, why didn't he go up to the black Israelites? There were far less of them, and they were the ones being the assholes.
Yeah, they were the adults in the room, for fuck's sake.
And the ones yelling and cussing and being crazy, like the kids were just cheering or whatever.
Yeah.
And just, doing their little chants, and they were fucking cussing and saying racist shit, not only to the kids, but to the natives.
Yeah, he was fucking blasting the natives.
Yeah, talking shit about their culture, making fun of the shit that they believe in, and calling them Uncle Tomahawks and all types.
Tomahawk is funny as shit, I'm not going to lie. But
I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, doesn't he at one point, blast them for letting... They stole your culture too. Like, really? Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I sing the body electric. I do that for me, guys. That's for me. Calm down, you dusty ass crackers. Yeah, why didn't he go to them? He did this. He's an activist. Have you guys read about the last time he was in the news?
Mm-hmm.
No.
So Scribe, apparently, he lives in Detroit, I guess, or near here somewhere. And he was walking by a house party where they were dressed like Indians. And he just had to confront them.
Oh, had to,
man. He just couldn't stop himself. And it got so out of control, he called the police. But by the time the police got there, there was no evidence a party had even taken place.
Huh. Sounds like a UVA type story.
You think?
To the story, did you hear his what he said about it?
No.
Because he was on the news and he was talking about it, and he said he walked over there and had asked them, why are they dressed like that? It's disrespectful. And they was like, we're just honoring them and celebrating or whatever. But he said the moment he told them that it was disrespectful and it's racist, then they were saying fuck you, or get out of here. So he was like, I thought it was ironic that they said they were honoring us, and then the moment I said it's racist, then they started talking shit about me.
Yeah, imagine being accused of being a racist and that would piss you off somehow. I don't know. Jesus.
Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He knew he was getting a photo op. He knew that there's a reason that the people that were with him, by the way, who were chanting just as loud as the kids at some points, were carrying their own cameras.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, this is a nice one. I know the truth about the Covington Catholic controversy. And then the little bottom part says, tell me how you voted, and I'll tell you what you think you saw.
I voted for my wife. What did I see?
I don't know.
Who is this jackass?
This was a headline for an article by Jack Schaefer. What, fourth state? I don't know what fourth state is. Yeah.
Over on the Twitter, Nancy Pelosi has been quoted as, this is serious and justified concern that this president would shut down the government anytime he does not get his way legislatively. This is why we must hold the line on this shutdown. For those of you who don't remember, Nancy Pelosi was in Congress when Barack Obama shut down the government because he didn't get his way legislatively.
Yeah, imagine that.
She ain't say fuck all about that.
She forgot.
She must have forgot. Yeah, she's old as fuck. I mean, let me see. Did I have any fucking? Like I said, guys, I was asleep most of the day. I'm sure I saw something. But I think most of it was related to things we've already talked about. Oh, did you guys see? Trump has come out with a new slogan: "Build the wall and crime will fall." That was trending on Twitter for a while today.
See my little responses to that?
I didn't.
Let's see. If the budget don't fit, the Dems must submit.
Nice.
And I forget what the other one was. It was just as bad. I made some cheesy ones.
Thank you, Mr. Unite for the Children. My Dixie wrecked and I'm looking for love. And thank you, Diesel Dave. I voted libertarian. Well, in that case, it would depend on what you think a libertarian means, because there's a lot of people out there who think a libertarian is a far left liberal, which was kind of funny to watch this last election. I saw so many people who they were Bernie folks, and then they even went further than Bernie. I mean, almost into commie territory. And they're like, I'm a libertarian. I'm like, I don't think you know what that word means. I don't think you know what it means at all.
Inconceivable. Oh.
Because one is talking about letting the government control everything, and the other is talking about letting them control basically nothing. You morons. There was Jim Acosta. Alyssa Milano, my 80s sweetheart. The Republicans and Trump are preventing the newly elected Democratic majority from governing. Sadly, I think this shutdown is more about them losing the House to the Democrats than a wall.
Jesus.
They will go into an election year saying, see, they got nothing done. Hashtag Trump shutdown. Sweetheart. Nothing is stopping them from governing. This is a choice they're making. Nancy, look, whether you want to blame Trump for the shutdown or not, yes, I know he said he'd do it. He'd take blame. But here's the fact. Donald Trump got up there and made a pitch for a end of the shutdown, where he offered some things up to get the wall. And before he could even get that speech done, Nancy Pelosi said no. No. because in her world, there is no wall. There's no way to get a wall, period, because somehow the wall is the most evil thing ever now. Making sure that there are parts of the border that are completely open so anybody can run across is the most American thing you can do as a Democrat right now. And I don't understand that, but that's the hill they're dying on.
Well, their only hope is undocumented immigrants. Like, that's...
I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, look, they could go in there and Donald Trump offered 3 years of protection for DACA. Go in there and tell them forever. We want them. We want amnesty for DACA kids. You'd probably get it.
Yeah. You'd be like, oh, well, they can stay if no more can come in. All right.
But when your negotiating tactic is we will never give him what he wants, you're not negotiating. Nope. Thank you, Soren Zero. We need to hunt down the MAGA kids. Is not what people with reasonable minds do. Good vibes and feelings sent to all, unless you don't consent. Thank you, sir.
How is it that you can read without fucking up while singing?
Shh, let it happen. Cryptic, thank you. Undocumented, hell no. Illegals. Because I have to slow down to sing, I think. You leave me alone. Oh, did you see Michael Cohen has postponed his testimony in front of I think it's the house he was supposed to go into? Yeah, the house.
No, I haven't seen that.
Okay, statement by Lanny J. Davis, attorney for Michael Cohen, January 23rd, 2018. Mr. Cohen volunteered to testify before the House Oversight Committee on February 7th. Due to ongoing threats against his family from President Trump and Mr. Giuliani, as recently as this weekend, as well as Mr. Cohen's continued cooperation with ongoing investigations by advice of counsel, Mr. Cohen's appearance will be postponed to a later date. Mr. Cohen wishes to thank Chairman Cummings for allowing him to appear before the House Oversight Committee and looks forward to testifying at an appropriate time. This is at a time where Mr. Cohen had to put his family and their safety first. Do you know the threat he's referring to?
No.
Okay, so Donald Trump went on a Fox News show. What the hell? Judge Jeanine? Sure. Is that her name?
Jeanine Pirro or whatever?
Yeah. He did a telephone interview with her this past weekend where at one point he says investigators should be looking into Mr. Cohen's father or father-in-law, something like that.
Okay.
And he says that's where all the money comes from. That's where they should probably be looking. That's it. That's the threat.
Okay.
Now, didn't this read like Cohen was like worried for their physical health?
Yeah, like they were under death threats or something.
Right.
That's what it sounded like.
I think it's more a problem that the last time he testified before Congress, he ended up with 3 years in the slammer.
Yeah, there's that too.
So, but yeah, I just love the way because of ongoing threats against his family from Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani. Excuse me. Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't that your client's a shitbag who's worried about not being able to even know what the truth is. And that's not me defending Donald Trump, y'all. That's just, I mean, Cohen's a shitbag. Terry Diamandis, thank you. If you're singing all the super chats, Tommy used to work on the dock. I love that song. I'm not going to fuck that up. I'm going to sing it my own way because I'm not going to do a disservice to that song. Tommy used to work on the dock.
Oh, God.
The union's been on strike. He's down on his luck. It's tough. So tough.
You know what?
Yeah, what's up?
I like how you just said, I don't want to do a disservice to this song, so I'm going to do a disservice to this song.
No, see, right, I wasn't going to try to sing it. No, hang on. What I meant by that, I wasn't going to try to sing it the way it's supposed to be sang because I cannot do sang.
Sang.
You sang to me, Scribe.
That is the appropriate use of that word.
It's not you sung to me.
But
you sung to me, that is appropriate.
Have you already sung?
Sang
anyway, moving on.
What was next? David Hogg was out there tweeting today.
Oh, is it a day that ends in Y?
Oh, but thank you, Corey Suzuki. 8675309.
God.
Can somebody punch Monkey in the throat so he can't sing anymore? That's horrible.
Is Lady Monkey in the chat? You
Hang on a second.
Sign her to it.
Can someone punch Monkey in the throat so he can't sing anymore? Don't make me sing the whole rest of this show. I'll do it. At one point, he tweeted out today, and this seems to be a narrative that's coming up over and over again, that the shutdown is merely a way to stall the Mueller investigation.
Well, then wouldn't the Democrats be wanting to get it out of the way real quick by just giving Trump what he wants?
You would think so, but no. He actually said, make no mistake, that's what it is. I'm like, you're a fucking moron, dude.
Yeah, these two things are not related to each other. The Mueller investigation's been going on this entire time and still going on. So, yeah, his budget hasn't been cut because of the government shutdown.
It's been stalling itself just fine.
That too.
Jesus Christ.
I'm seeing that there's a birthday in chat. Whose birthday is it?
I don't know. Why are you asking me?
Jenna, if his birthday's tomorrow, come back tomorrow. We'll sing then. Are you not going to be here tomorrow? I mean, if you just want it today, I mean, we can still do that. Where is this one?
Oh my God, guys.
What's that?
Yawning. Jeez.
Oh, we're going to be on a ski trip tomorrow. Okay. What was his name? And then we'll get to Ilhan Omar and her stupid shit.
Oh, yeah.
Because, man. Oh, man.
You'd think these people get sick of apologizing for being wrong.
Did she apologize or just like delete her tweet?
She just deleted it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do this for Bryce. Bryce, buddy, I hear your birthday is tomorrow. You're going skiing. Be safe, but have fun. This one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
This is not okay.
Happy birthday, dear Bryce.
I'm offended.
Happy birthday to you. Seriously, Bryce, have a wonderful birthday, but be safe out there. Have a lot of fun. Do silly kid stuff, but be safe. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. I fell into a ring of fire.
Oh, Christ.
And thank you, Snubbirth. The life of the wife is ended by the night. Thank you. Anyway, so Ilhan Omar, she tweeted this out, and she actually left it up for a long time before she finally had an aide go, pull this down. You look like a dumbass.
Yeah.
There are 3 bullet points, and this was in response to Trump talking about the fake news surrounding the Covington boys. She tweeted out bullet point number 1: the boys were protesting a woman's right to choose and yelled, "It's not rape if you enjoy it." Did I sing Corey's $2 super chat? Did I miss one? Yeah, I did. That was 8675309. I did it. As to that, there's nothing wrong with the boys. It's not a woman's right to choose. It's a woman's right to abortion is what you're talking about. You have the right to many, many choices before you get there. These are Catholic schoolboys. It's not weird for them to be at a march for pro-life.
And did any of those things, were they recorded as being said on that video?
No.
Yeah. I think so.
There's other things where they supposedly had people saying that, but yeah. They were taunting 5 black men before they surrounded Phillips and led racist chants.
They were.
Yeah.
She has access to the same footage that everybody else does.
You think she actually took the time to watch any of this? This cunt read some left-wing news media article. She probably read that Guardian article. The next one. Sandman's family hired a right-wing PR firm to write his non-apology. Is it accurate? He didn't need to apologize. There was nothing he needed to apologize for, which is kind of what he said in that non-apology. You stupid cunt. Yeah, my response to that was literally, you're a fucking liar. And then I came back later and it was deleted. I've had so many people delete tweets over the last couple of days that I've responded to. And I didn't think that would be one that I would have to actually screenshot. I've been trying to get better at screenshotting them so people can see what these assholes say before they fuck, God damn you. Thank you, Weird Lotus. Is that how you say that? Is it weird or wired? Wired Lotus?
How is it spelled?
W-Y-R-D.
Weird, usually.
Okay. Bop. Boo-da-ba. Dop. Ba-doo bop. Ba-doo dop. Ba-doo bop. Da. Doo-ba-dop. There you go.
You sound like somebody who's like majorly on medication in a straitjacket in the far corner of a padded room.
The funny part is he knows what he was supposed to do, but he did it wrong on purpose.
I sing like Frank Sinatra. I did it my way.
Oh, God.
I did it my way.
Yeah, you did it the wrong way.
What else did we have? We had. Did we talk about Cortez calling billionaires immoral or having billionaires immoral?
We talked about that yesterday, didn't we?
Okay, so yeah, I'm back as far as I've gone. Sorry, that's how I know whether I'm talking about today's bullshit or yesterday's is whether you guys have heard me talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's I mean most of what I encountered today. Now, the only thing that I had on there that I didn't before or that I didn't bring up is the shit. What is the word for it? Term limit. God damn it.
The shit. No, the shit.
Oh, shit.
The shit.
Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. You make me feel like a natural woman. Thank you, Diesel Dave. Come on and get down with the sickness. Gotta get up and get down with the sickness. I will do this all night long if you guys want me to. There was I think it was Rick Scott, somebody from Florida. They're introducing a bill to put term limits on House and Senate members. And I know that there's a lot of people who think this is going to be a good thing. Cryptic. Thank you so much. Wanna be a baller. Shot caller, 24-inch blade on the Impala. Call her getting laid tonight. Swisher roll tight. Got us sprayed by Ike. Got sprayed by Ike. Oh, I put an A in there. I'm so sorry. Got sprayed by Ike. There, now you can put it together properly. Thank you guys so much for all the super chats. You guys are both silly and wonderful.
This is hurting me. This is actually inflicting damage onto my body.
If you'd like to hurt Satsu, feel free to donate more and make me sing. I don't see especially when it comes to congressional elections or House. I mean, it's all Congress, House elections. I don't see the benefit of term limits. I can maybe see it on the Senate side. But like I was arguing with people today, and an argument I kept coming up against was, well, if they have term limits, they won't have to be campaigning all the time. Like, well, they'll still have to campaign until their last lame duck session, and then the next person will just have to keep doing it. And it's like, well, this will make sure there's less corruption. Like, there are people who've been corrupt in their first fucking year. I don't understand the idea of term limits other than we don't want people to be politicians.
Well, why do we have presidential term limits then?
I don't agree with those either.
Really?
Really? Real quick, Seal, thank you. We built this city. Let me ask you this, in all sincerity. Do you think the country would have been better off with Bush's first term or a third Clinton term?
With Bush's first term?
Uh-huh. Or a third Clinton term? Which way do you think the country probably would have? We know how it went under Bush. Do you think Clinton could have done better?
I have no idea.
Don't you think the people should get the choice to find out?
Well, given the way that our politics works, I honestly wouldn't want to risk some kind of dynasty of a single person running the country for decades.
See, that's the other thing I heard is the dynasty thing. What if they're doing a decent job? What's the problem?
I don't know. I just don't like the idea of a perpetual president. That's all.
Well, wouldn't they still have to be voted in each time?
Yeah. Well, they would, sure.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like that leads me to lean more towards Monkey's point. If they're still getting voted in every year and the people still want them in, then I guess I don't really see the issue either.
One of the people I argued with, they're like, well, my area has been taken over by progressive Democrats. I'm like, and he said, we're outvoted. I'm like, you're still going to be outvoted even if you make the person in Congress be recycled every 5 years. Well, 6 years because it's terms. You're still outnumbered. I see, and Scribe, I'm not saying this about you because you don't seem to be too partisan to me, but I see a lot of partisan people who see it like, oh, Democrats hold this seat. If only we could force that person out, then maybe we'd have a chance at that seat. And I'm like, no, the people like Nancy Pelosi who win every year, they're just going to be replaced by somebody like AOC. And frankly, she scared me even more of term limits because I don't want a good senator or representative kicked out of Congress and replaced by an AOC clone.
But if it's the will of the people, why do you care?
Because that's not the will of the people. If the will of the people was to keep the one they had, you've taken that choice from them.
I'm just not a fan of stagnancy. I'm not a fan of professional politicians. I don't like dynasties when you're talking about like Strom Thurmond having served forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Having mindsets and people from ages past when the country changes. Sure, you need some guidance, but 30, 40, 50 years in the Senate, I don't know. And yeah, they go, it'll cut down on corruption and everything else. Well, maybe not right away, but over time, if there's not an incentive to vote in a way that's going to benefit you financially after the fact, if there's some kind of non-compete clause that says thou shalt not be allowed to work in any industry that you advocate for while in politics, etc. Well, there's a lot of reasons why I think that our government should continually be rotated, just to keep things up, keep people engaged too. Because if it's just like a given, oh well, he's been president 3 times before, I guess we'll vote him in again. I don't like that idea of stagnancy. I don't like that idea of complacency in our politics, I guess.
I'm going to come back to that. Frosted Glass, thank you. Della tu corpo allegra Macarena. Hey, Macarena. Sorry for ruining your language, Spanish people. And Diesel Dave, thank you. Then why have term limits for the POTUS? I don't agree with term limits for the president. I never have. I think Term limits were created for the president because Roosevelt became too powerful, which is bad. Not exactly. Roosevelt didn't have any powers that any other president wouldn't have. That's just, I mean, the common theme is, well, they wanted to avoid a king, and it was because the Republicans were afraid they'd never hold the office again. Especially in today's climate, I just don't think that a president, I don't think we would get a president over 2, maybe 3 terms at most anyway. I just think that, yeah, I'm not for limiting people's choice in voting. And I especially wouldn't want my congressman booted out, and we end up with, AOC out of default.
Well, what it seems like with people who I've seen having this conversation, for the most part, a lot of people are like, they'll say, I wouldn't want the same person, in office or whatever. But usually they're only speaking about if that person was in the opposition. But they tend to get more lenient on it. It's just like, okay, well, if it's a person that represents all of your viewpoints, would you be happy if they stayed in forever? And they're like, oh yeah, I'll be happy with that. I just don't want the opposite to happen.
That's why,
that's not where I'm coming from. I don't.
Well, I know that's not where you're coming from.
I just want to make sure. That's understood. Just like with executive orders and all these other things, there's certain extensions of executive power that I don't think should be held by that office, and one of them is perpetual holding of the office, and someone gaining so much influence and so much power over time and so much leverage and so much foregone conclusion that they get voted in over and over and over again, and we have a stagnancy in our politics and our foreign policy, a less engaged electorate. And I understand all the electorate's not engaged anyway as it is. Well, if there's never an end to someone's potential for staying in office, people get even more lazy, I think.
And that's why I enjoy discussing this with you, Scribe, because I know it's not partisan for you.
Yeah.
I know you're not like, no, I think Democrats. Oh wait, no, you're not about it partisan wise. That's why a lot of people I talk to like, well, and no offense, this is kind of, but are you positive we wouldn't have ended up with another Obama for another year? Absolutely, we would have. Obama would have beat Trump.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And I'm still saying, knowing that is the likelihood, I am not for term limits. Real quick, thank you, Jenna. Bryce, my born in Britain, blue-eyed, blonde hair, said you, oh, sassy, Eric, Emma, Tommy, DJ, Gabe, Kara, Samuel, and Addie, your apology for doing their heritage bad, everyone, but sassy actually were born in Africa. I don't know what that means, even without singing it.
And I, just as a side thing, I think, I'm thinking about, I think we're sort of that precept I have where it's like, okay, it doesn't matter to me which side of the argument someone's on. The rules have to sort of make sense.
Sure.
It actually came from having to run or be part of running that LARP for so long, because when someone would change a rule, my first thought was, okay, let's pretend for a moment that I am the shittiest role player, power gamer, whatever in the world. How could I exploit this rule change?
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't matter if it was somebody I liked or a plot line that I approved. It was just like, if I had to find a way to use this to get an unfair advantage over other people, how could I do it? And does that make sense for the long term of the game? And that's kind of how I think about all these things like executive orders and everything else. Is just like, okay, doesn't matter if it's somebody I like or not. If somebody who was, honestly bad or doing bad things, could they exploit this for a way that would be more detrimental than whatever advantages might be, or philosophical advantages might be stated for it? And that's kind of what I think of. It's like, I can't imagine there not being a way that having unrestricted terms on a president could not be used for abuse in some way, whether it's Donald Trump in power or Obama in power, because both of those guys, if given more rope, would only hang the rest of us if they had the opportunity to do some of the stuff that they were doing when they were president or are president.
Yeah.
There are people arguing with me that Roosevelt took too much power for himself, and it's because of the Congress. Prospero says abrogating power to the executive. Have you seen what's happened since with term limits?
Well, that's just the thing. So, let's say that George W. Bush, or I'm sorry, Dick Cheney was still president for 3 more terms.
Yeah.
Would you really want Dick Cheney constantly expanding the power of the executive over and over and over again, and then to have that office fall into the hands of Donald Trump or Obama again, or anybody else who might seek to abuse those powers for things like DACA or drone strikes or whatever else? Now, I'm not saying that, those things are going to go away, because it's going to be a rare president that somehow turns back the clock on all that. But if you have somebody in there who's never going to leave, it'll never go away.
Yeah, I can see merits as far as both sides are concerned. And the examples that Scribe has given, he could give them for pretty much any president who had any controversial whatever.
Yeah.
And like whenever I see this conversation, it reminds me of the Electoral College conversation, where a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, the popular vote's not the one that's winning," and I think that's not fair. And I'm like, "Did you think it wasn't fair when whatever president you wanted to win?" And their answer is like, "Well, no, because the person who I wanted to win won, so that time it wasn't a problem." And I'm like, "See, that's the issue with your argument." And then I wasn't applying that to Scribe when I said it, but a lot of these conversations kind of go towards that way, where they're like, I don't think a president should have a fuck ton of terms unless they're a president that I like, or I don't think the popular vote should not win the presidency unless it's a president that I want. Then it's like, okay, it's fine. And I'm like, well, you don't actually have any fucking foundational beliefs. This is situational, and I only like it under these circumstances.
I want to address one more thing, then we'll turn it over to chat. Dinah B says career politicians should not be a thing, and you mentioned career politicians.
Yes.
Right? What if somebody starts in the city council, becomes mayor, becomes a representative in their state, then a senator in their state, then their governor, then a U.S. representative, a U.S. senator, and then president? Wouldn't that still be a career politician?
Yeah, and there should be a limitation.
They shouldn't exist.
And when they get to the highest offices in the land, they should have a limitation on how long they get to be there.
Okay, but the argument was career politician.
Yeah, I mean, well, so I like the, even though I'm not a fan of Trump, I like the idea that effectively a non-politician citizen can become a governmental official. I mean, we're talking about president or state representative or anything else. I like that. But you get these career politicians who have been there forever and ever and ever, know everybody, know the game, and you got to question. It's like, well, what's their motivation? What's their perspective on anything that has to do with real people when you've been living in nothing but politics your entire life? I'm not saying you can't be a career politician. I'm just saying I'm not particularly fond of people who are career politicians. That's the only life that they've known.
Fair enough.
That's all. So yeah, let me clarify. I'm not saying do away with the option of someone to be a career politician. It's like I would just like to see more people who aren't have a bite at the apple than the people who are sort of like divine right of kings. Well, I've done this and this and this, so now I mean it's the same argument for like Hillary. It's like, well, I was a senator and I was first lady. Now I deserve to be president. Like, yeah, that argument doesn't wash. And just because you've been a politician before, I don't think necessarily commend you immediately to anything higher in life.
Thank you, Snubbirth. Gawker apparently tried to come back days ago, and it's only reporters quit. Is that real?
Well, we know they're cutting 15% of their workforce. Did people quit?
No, that was BuzzFeed.
Yeah, he said.
Oh, sorry, BuzzFeed. Sorry, Gawker. Yeah.
Gawker is still, I mean,
I'm kind of confused those two.
True, yeah. Gawker, in that vein, guys, we're going to turn it over to you. Questions, comments, concerns? Throw them into the chat now. Sorry, we're a little bit late on that. Gawker is still a a brand is, excuse me, a brand. Somebody bought it, didn't they?
Hulk Hogan. Yeah, somebody did. I forget who it was though.
A true democracy is two wolves and a sheep talking about what's for lunch. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I've heard that before. Have you checked your Twitter DMs? Oh, I saw the meme you sent. Yeah. I don't generally show those here. That's usually over on Monkey in the Morning. Toasted Network. Ted Kennedy murdered a woman and was still electable. Incumbency is a very powerful incentive and isn't necessarily a positive trait. He was a Kennedy.
What was I saying about legacy again?
I mean, we're not the legacy. Okay, you can make that argument, but in that case, I mean, you can't. That's not incumbency there. That's. I mean, you're talking the legacy of Camelot there. What do you think what do you think about New York's new abortion law and why aren't people criticizing Nathan Phillips? Dude, you gotta start asking a question at a time, Toasted. He did what the media that Nick Sandman did, and why has socialism never worked? I think the New York abortion law is scary. Because under it, technically, yes, a woman could have an abortion all the way up to the day before she would deliver. And that's not how abortion. If we're gonna have abortion, there's got to be some limits on it. People aren't criticizing. There are a lot of people criticizing Nathan Phillips and why socialism never worked because it's stupid. Why were there no government shutdowns during the Bush administration? Asked John.
Which one?
Were there none under
HW?
HW had a shutdown. He had the same kind of shutdowns that Reagan did. They only lasted like half a day.
They weren't as popular before. Well, let's see. Clinton had one, didn't he?
Clinton had the big one with.
Yeah, that's right.
With Gingrich, yeah.
Gingrich, that's right. Yeah, I don't think they became quite as much of a fad until after Clinton. So if Bush 1 didn't have one, I guess I wouldn't be surprised.
The Republicans got their asses handed to them over the shutdown under Clinton. Oh, the two shutdowns under Clinton. So I think that scared them away. And there wasn't really a fight that they had that necessitated it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Whatever happened to Creepy Porn Lawyer? He's still over on the Twitter machine.
Avenatti, haven't heard him in the news at all lately.
He's been tweeting recently, beating his chest about Cohen and what's going on with that, but basically nothing. He's just trying to remain relevant, and nobody's listening to him anymore because nobody cares. Satsu, is monkey singing violence?
Good question.
If I answer yes, I will be a hypocrite. So I'll say no and ignore my bodily wounds.
There you go. And Frosted said, who put the ram in Ramalama Ding Dong? Your mama.
Dodge.
The new owner is part of Gizmodo.
Gizmodo bought pieces of Gawker or something.
Yeah.
And Gizmodo also owns now, or is the network that owns The Root and Splinter and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, Gizmodo is a shitty organization.
Monkey, do you think we should remove the Bill of Rights since they prevent people from choosing things like a state church? No, because you can still go to church.
Take me to church. Oh, sorry.
The Bill of Rights are enumerated rights you have, not preventions thereof. It limits the state there, not the people. Also, did I watch that video? No Snub. I still haven't watched it yet. Where my fucking chat jump? There we go. Lords of Night, have you heard of fromage de chat, aka cat milk cheese?
Fromage de chat, yeah. I've heard of it, but I've never had it. Thank God.
I'm a merc, and I read that how it's presented there.
Yeah, well, you're uncultured.
Jaguski says toasted. Ranting Monkey toasted. Did you read my comment as by him? Which one? If I mislabeled your comment, I apologize, sir. Flair wants to know why I'm the gayest man alive. If I'm the gayest man alive,
you're doing a shitty job of it.
Yeah, the Catholic Church has nothing to worry about.
Oh,
too soon.
Thousands of years, probably not. But anyway, I gotta go, guys, because work stuff calls me again, and I'm probably out for the rest of the show. So I'll chat. Thank you for coming.
All right, dude.
Monkey Satsu, I will talk to you tomorrow. Sorry, guys, just the reality of my situation right now. So
we love you, Scribe.
Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Everybody, take care.
Let's see. Gawker lost all reporters. Heard it on Tim Pool's channel. Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm trying. It's got such bad connotations right now. If you're gonna try to bring it back, wait a decade. I mean, just sit on the property. It's not like anybody's dying to have Gawker back. Hector says, barring term limits, if you could, what changes? Oh, if you could, what changes would you guys implement to make government more efficient? I would require, one, I would limit the number of days that Congress works. And I would require them to live in their district for at least half the year. I mean, term limits, I just don't. The Orange Chicken, thank you so much for the donation. Didn't you used to have a different name? I recognize that picture. Thank you for the donation. There was no comment with it, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Was that just so I couldn't sing it? Okay, you know what? I'm just going to sing your name then. The Orange Chicken. Guys, don't forget, after this, me and Satsu will be over on 2 Cents Plus playing 7 Days to Die with viewers. If you have 7 Days to Die for the PC, you could join us if you'd like. Or you can just come over and watch us play because it's a lot of fun. So what about a vegetable? They are technically a climb of cells with no brain function. What are you... Satsu, did I miss something?
What?
So you can about a vegetable. They are technically a climb of cells with no brain function. I don't understand what's happening.
I have no idea.
Is that an argument going on in chat?
I don't know.
All right. What's the funniest monkey joke? I don't know. Which was crazier, California straw ban or New York abortion law? Crazier how? I mean, the California one's silly. The New York one's going to kill viable children. So you pick. Is it true Senator Blumenthal claimed he served in Vietnam with the Indian guy? I don't know if it with the Indian guy, but I know Blumenthal's gotten so much shit over his Vietnam service. If y'all don't know that story, you should look it up. He's a bit of a liar. Have you seen the Dick Cheney movie yet? No. I don't know if I'll even watch it on DVD. What's that one called? What's it called?
Vice.
Vice. Yeah. I sometimes wonder if it would not be better if members of Congress should be picked like Lotto originally they were more citizens. See, I don't have the hatred of the way our Congress and stuff works. A lot of people, they're not getting anything done. Good. Have you seen what they do when they get shit done? It's an adversarial system for a reason. It's to have things go slow. Are you going to get your way all the time? Nope. Term limits won't fix that. A lotto system won't fix that. And nothing's going to fix that because all you're going to end up doing is getting different players with the same fucking politics. RJ asked me how I like my ramen. He likes his with Velveeta. I like mine. I drain the water, put just a little bit of water back, and then put the packet on it. I'm not like Satsu. I don't go real fancy on it very often.
I'll be hooking ramen up. That should be looking like like I went to a 5-star restaurant.
Yeah, mine is I like it plain, mostly because that's the easiest way to cook it. I don't have, if I'm making ramen, I don't have a lot of energy to stand there and make something else to go in it or cook with it. Why is Monkey singing every super chat? Because it amused me. Let me help y'all out. There's a lot of times you guys ask me, why is Monkey doing something? And 9 times out of 10, that answer is going to be, it amuses him. That's sad, but it's absolutely true. 2 cents plus and Ranting Monkey, will you two cover the Oscars? I could not give a fuck less about the Oscars.
Yeah, I do not have a shred of fucks.
Yeah.
Any quantity of fucks to give about the Oscars. I know there's going to be drama. I know somebody's going to virtue signal and it's going to be the new hottest thing and that person's going to become a hero even though they're irrelevant and it doesn't matter because they're probably not the one winning the award anyway. So they're just taking attention away from the people who are supposed to be winning them. It's going to be a shit show. And I don't have the patience.
The only thing I care about the Oscars is when somebody inevitably gives us a political speech that nobody gives a shit about, and usually you see them the next day. So, don't know if I should go on the open stream or check out Polydub stream. You can do both, man. Listen to Poly while you come play. RJ says, "Are you going to trick Satsu tonight in 7 days tonight?" Satsu's my buddy. I don't fuck with Satsu. I'll fuck with other people, but we keep each other alive. That's kind of the deal.
That's right. Y'all fuck each other over.
Yeah. With the exception of the rocket launcher, which seriously, I still did not mean to kill you, and just scaring you with it, which by the way, somebody paid for. All of the other stuff we've done to each other has been accidental. Oh no, you did put down some barbed wire in retaliation.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely on purpose.
Yeah, but that didn't kill me or anything. But like when he set me on fire the other night, it was not on purpose.
No, we were just panicking and I was running and I pressed the button and forgot that I was holding it, so I released it so I can press something else and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah. When we've done it on Horde nights, because we both set each other on fire on Horde, it's been accidental. It's not something we do on purpose. Now, in the open server, people do that to each other, but that's not how I play. That's not actually a question, Jean-Pierre. Pizza, burgers, or tacos? Ooh. You know, it depends on my day, but if I could only choose one of those, I'd probably go burgers because there's so many things. You can make a pizza burger.
That's right. You can also make a taco burger.
Indeed.
Although you can make a burger pizza.
Yeah, it's not this. You know, have you ever had a cheeseburger pizza? Those are nasty.
You know what? The one that you get from what is it? There's this one pizza place. Their cheeseburger pizza is fucking delicious. It's the only place I've ever gotten one from where it tastes actually good.
Frosted says, "Do you think Scribe is really just doing a Stacy Dash break?" No, he's got work stuff to do. You could hear it in his voice. He's annoyed. His work fucked up his format. You're gonna kick somebody's ass for that. What else? Lots of people want me to set you on fire. It's not gonna happen. Who's dumber, Riley or Alexandria? I don't know. I think they're both morons.
I don't think they need a competition, really.
Do you think AOC should have been a bartender, not a politician? She
was a bartender, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Or didn't she claim to be?
Oh, she was. There's actually pictures of her bartending. I think she's an idiot, but she's what people voted for. So do I think the world would be better off if she'd been a state bartender? Probably. But hey, that's the people of Brooklyn want to be represented by a moron, and that's their right. Have you ever eaten at a ramen restaurant? I haven't.
I haven't eaten at an actual ramen restaurant, but I have had ramen at a Thai restaurant and it was pretty good. I'd like to go to an actual ramen. Man, dude, those fucking bowls that you get, like if you ever go to an actual authentic like Asian restaurant and not a fast food place or whatever, their portions are fucking ridiculous. Like when you order something like a $9 dish or whatever, you're like, is this just for me? And they're like, yeah. You're like, holy fuck. Look like this about to feed like 4 people.
I don't quite understand this question. What do you think about a stream with you guys as the main characters? We do that 6 nights a week.
What? Are we not the main characters in this stream? Did I miss something?
I think we've been demoted.
I think the chat thinks that they're the main characters of our stream.
Sassy, help. I cannot figure out how to become a member on either channel.
Huh? Is that Jenna again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean says Monkey accidentally on purpose kills Satsu and sets him on fire. No, the only time I've killed Satsu, it absolutely was accidental. I did not know it was going to kill him. But setting him on fire, I've never killed him on fire. And those absolutely are all accidental. And you know that because usually when I set him on fire, I set myself on fire too. And I would be a little smarter about it. Data says, gonna miss the game tonight, Monkey. Satsu, I'm on a laptop and borrowing neighbor's Wi-Fi to be able to see the show. Oh. I play on Wi-Fi every time we play. Most decadent food you've ever eaten. Ooh.
Problem translating that word.
It was a cake somebody made that they called it a better than sex cake. I've had it before since then, and it's not as good, but this one was just, it was like heaven on your tongue, and it was just so sweet and fluffy, and it was wonderful.
That's it's hard for me. I guess if we're talking about desserts, I had there was this lady who I used to know who used to make candy bar themed cheesecakes.
Oh.
And all you had to do was provide her the candy bars and she would turn it into a cheesecake. And she made this Snickers one. Oh my God.
When you play on the open server, can you migrate a current single player character? No, you got to start from scratch. Monkey, can you set other people on fire? I could, but I won't. I don't play that way.
What's up, Matt?
Harbos Marvo says, so anything new on the Donga Donga saga? Okay. I went and watched a lot of Donga stuff last night, and I was actually mentioned on the Ralph Report last night. Failure brought up the infamous Monkey Donga argument, which, by the way, that shithead took down way before he started taking down any of his other videos because he looked like an asshole on it. But there's not really much. I mean, there's some talk that his AdSense is in his grandma's name, and he does that because he's on food stamps and disability, which if true is a federal fucking crime. But there's not a whole lot of evidence out there. It was funny on Failure had a show right before we went live. He started at 8, where he was reading private messages between him and Tonka on Discord. And what they did is they had Andy Worski read Tonka's parts, and then Failure read his own parts. And there's parts of it where Failure is directly insulting Andy Worski. And it was so funny to watch. It's like, you guys, look, Failure has been complicit in everything Tonka did, and everybody's giving him a pass right now because he's come over to the good side. I don't want anything to do with any of these fuckers. I like Ralph. Me and him have been friendly. Yes, I think he crosses the line sometimes, but so do a lot of people I like. But for the rest of them, I mean, everybody deserves each other. It's like a Mexican soap opera over there, and they're just about to run out of shit to talk about in another week or two. So we'll see who becomes the heel next. Satsu's 2+. What is the best quality to find in a woman that would make a decent waifu? As in, what do you deem waifu material?
Somebody who can communicate first and foremost. Somebody who you can talk to and you can be honest with. Because one of my biggest issues in relationships in general was not that honesty just wasn't a thing. It was the fact that you kind of couldn't be honest, because it would cause more problems than if you just lied. So that's definitely one of them. Somebody you can communicate with openly and honestly. And I don't know, somebody with a sense of humor.
Randy Monkey, who's your favorite punk band? I'm not a big punk fan. The Orange Chicken asks, was it better than sex? Nothing has been better than sex in my experience. Maybe I'm just doing everything else wrong, but I really like sex. Just saying. What else do we got here? Guys, we got 4 minutes left. Don't forget, over on 2 Cents Plus, we'll be playing 7 Days to Die tonight on the open server. Come hang out. Ranting Monkey, you know there's a line? What line? What are we talking about there? I just don't understand. I need context when you guys throw things out like that. Worst video game system of all time. Ooh. Probably the Atari 7800. Just because it wasn't enough of an upgrade to keep gamers' attention.
The fucking Virtual Boy.
There you go. Yeah, did you see how gamers spent like $48 billion on games last year?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, what? Video games are dying. No, they're not. It was a record.
If video games were dying, then the SJWs and the regressives or whatever would not be putting so much attention into fucking trying to influence or change them. Which always blew my mind. I'm like, so you're literally putting every fucking ounce of your effort to further destroy something that's already dying? Like, that doesn't make any sense. If it wasn't popular in one of the biggest fucking mediums in the world, you wouldn't even be paying attention to it. So don't try to feed me that bullshit when you fucking break your neck to try to get in on every fucking bit of it you can. And you're like, it's dying. Really? Is it? Is that why you want in so fucking bad?
The line apparently is lines that creators can cross. Yeah, that's true. I can forgive a lot of stuff, and especially if you're just being an asshole. Let's see. Does the Satsu 2 Cents know he can make ramen broth in an instant pot?
What?
Do you know you can make ramen broth in an instant pot? I don't know. Some of these questions confuse me.
You can make ramen broth in anything that can hold liquid and
get heated.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, you could probably do it in a bathtub. I make ramen in a pot, put bouillon in it. I make mine in a pot, and then I make it al dente, and when it gets to the perfect tenderness, I drain all that fucking water, put back just a tiny bit of cold water, and mix it all up with that beautiful. I would just eat those packets if they sold them, and it'd probably be bad for me because there's like 400 grams of salt in there. But yeah, and then I mix it all up so that they're nice and coated with that yummy flavor. Commodore VI Vic 20. When is Lady Monkey's birthday? It's in September. Are you old enough to remember Mattel handheld electronics?
You talking about the Tiger games and shit?
Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know. I think you like going back to the football and baseball game. I used to have the football game.
I like the football one. I used to play that a lot.
Have you tried pot flavored ramen? No, I have not.
Sounds disgusting. Pot flavored anything sounds disgusting.
And if it smells like it, that would be even worse. And on that note, guys, it is 11 o'clock. That is the end of the show. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. For the super chats, cannot tell you how much I appreciate those, and how much I just appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with us night after night. Don't forget, after this, we're going to be over on 2 Cents Plus playing 7 Days to Die on the open server. If you have 7 Days to Die on the computer, you are welcome to join us. Information is in the Discord link below. I want to thank Scribbles, who's not here anymore, and Satsu. Thank you for joining me as always. Everyone, your lives make us sad. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.